I came across this on eBay a few weeks ago. It was listed as a LIMA 2-car DMU, but when you look underneath there is no maker's mark on it. So whether the buyer knew it was LIMA through maybe the packaging, I don't know. So let's open it up and find out. Hi there YouTubers, it's Sort6233 with another servicing video, and this time it's a 2-car DMU, obviously Continental, nice colour, a bit grubby, but other than that not too bad, not a lot of damage that I can see, so it doesn't look too bad. It's supposed to be a LIMA, but like I said, there is no maker's mark on it. So I want to try and get into it. And what I notice is that it seems to be held in by rivets here and here. Now, is that right? I don't know. Although there are some screws underneath the bogie. So I'm going to start out by removing these screws once I find my little screwdriver. Okay, there's a couple of screws underneath the bogie and they don't belong to the bogie, so I'm just going to remove these and see what happens. I'm actually starting with the dummy because then if anything goes untoward I haven't missed a lot. So certainly this looks like access to the interior. What will we find? Well, that's an interesting way of adding weight, isn't it? Got the big screws. Okay. Now we'll do the same for the power wagon. And here. And in here. I still don't get a feeling of LIMA about it. So manufacturers have their own little sort of peculiarities. So that's the inside with a weight front and back, and they look pretty symmetrical, so I don't think I'll get those mixed up. The top casing with some plastic glass both ends, and the retaining screws look the same for front and back bogies, so I won't get them mixed up. And this is the motor and drive assembly with a light at one end and at the other. Yep, so that's what it looks like. Again, I'm still not getting a feeling of LIMA anywhere, and the motor doesn't give any indication either. Trying to see where I may apply power. Well, obviously 2 power strips going down each side. So if I should get my little clip, apply a little bit of power, and let's see what happens. Well, there's certainly life. There's life in the motor. Right. I didn't test it on the rolling road when it first came in, because I wasn't really sure. Sometimes you can put things and power them up, and burn things out without realising it. Whereas if you open it up first, at least you get a chance to catch out where the smoke comes from. Right, so can we get power through the bogies? Ah, I know what it is. One thing about my power supply, it works very well, but it works even better when you put the plug in. Right, my light's coming on, you can't see it there, but definitely coming on. I think it might just need a little bit of service, you know that. Okay, let's go to basics then. Check all the contacts, clean the wheels, a little bit of the old loop, and yeah, it shouldn't be too far away from there. Do you know, it looks kind of old, do you know what I mean? Like not a modern style. I'd love to investigate this. If you know anything about these, I'd love to hear about it. Okay, let's do the usual servicing then. Come in a little bit and see where we stand. Power pick up from the bogies, and I suppose they do have a very LIMA-esque look about them. These bars behind the wheels, yeah, with the springs, that's very LIMA-esque. Yep. And similarly the other side, here and here. And it seems as if they're held in here. Then traction is the motor, drives through the spring shaft into the worm screw, which turns this gear here, whoops, there we go here, which engages on these big drive gears here. And there's one on this axle as well, which is a dummy, and similarly here. So maybe they just made them all. Perhaps there are versions where both axles are driven. And what about the dummy? The dummies don't have any drive axle, gears in the axles. That's what the bogie looks like. And these two pickup plates protrude at the top. So I imagine they would make contact with these strips, so I'll just clean those up as well and try and check the whole chain from there. Then they go along these copper strips so that each side is connected, and then they reach the motor through where did they reach the motor? And yes, I see. Just in there, as the power bus comes along, there's a little tab bends underneath. So I imagine there'll be one on this side as well. There it goes. Then they are actually attached. I can just see in there, I don't know if I picked that up with the camera, but they are then soldered just where are we there. Just see a little bit of soldering tab onto contacts of the motor. So that's the power chain from the pickups through these little stubs, through these copper strips, along the buses, and little spurs onto the motor. So there's your power drive, and then the drive chain, as I said, through here into one screw, driving a little idler that then drives that. So clean these, clean that, lubricate, and then all back up together again. Okay, just bear with me. Well, do you know what? I resorted to actually removing the motor from its housing, and it's not soldered in as I first thought. It's actually connected through these little pillars here, which go to the tabs through suppression coils, and it looks like a capacitor. Whoops, I've knocked it off here. Hang on a second. And I tested it, and watch this. Just needs a little bit of weight. So, applying a little bit of power, and look at that, without any bother at all. Just needs weight there, but that'll soon cure that. Once I get that, there we go. Look at that. Whoops. Trying to avoid that. And again, there. So perhaps just the over age, the bit of corrosion, the contacts here. So I just cleaned them, bit of a contact lubrication, and hey, there it is. So let's just put it back up together again, and we'll see if it is working. It certainly seems to be. So let's fit in this gear house in there, and just a little screw to hold it in. Just put the one in, like so. Right, need a bit of power there onto the bogies. Ah, isn't that nice? Right, I'm just going to set it up on the test track, and if it runs I'll bring the camera across and we can have a little look together. And look at that, nice and smooth. Yeah, without any bother, I'm just trying to burst the power. And look at that, it comes back by its own accord. Hardly any power there at all. And round it comes. That lamp isn't working, I'll have to investigate that. But yeah, that's all it needed. Bit of TLC, a bit of cleaning, a bit of lubrication. Nothing major, that's good. I think I got a nice little bargain out of that. Right. Okay, I want to investigate the lamps. This lamp, and it's attached to this plate here, which is all connected up. I notice there's a little contact just in there at one side and at the rear for the other. And based on my previous experience, I'm just going to start by maybe applying a little bit of contact grease there and here, and then we'll see if that's going to make any difference. I'm looking at the other lamp as I do this. It's not lighting. If I reverse the power, then this lamp lights. So obviously it's something else a bit more serious than that. Okay, I'm going to see if I can just remove this little plate here from each end and turn them over. One of them's blue, this is the front end, and the other one is brown, which is the rear end, so I'll know which one is which. This is the rear one that works. And if I just apply power, it lights. This is the front one. It doesn't work. Apply power, it lights. So it's not the bulbs which are at fault. What else could it be? Obviously some contact. Ah, now that's interesting. That's interesting. This is the rear end. And this is the bulb housing. Okay, and this is the contact from there to there. And there's a little plate just in there. And that's where the power goes from the bus to the lamp. When I look at this end, I saw this flapping around. There's the bus, there's the contact, but there's no plate. Let me just try inside in case something has fallen in. Checking through my junk box, I found this little bit of steel, whatever it is, so I've taken half of it off and I put it in there, and when I apply power now, there, I've got that light. Oh, and I haven't got the other one, but that was definitely front when it wasn't working because of that. I wonder how it got out and where it is. Obviously, usual case, someone's been looking to find out what's happening to it. So, what I'm going to do now is put everything back up together again and check that it runs, hook up the second car and get it running. I'm trying to identify what kind of livery this is, so I've been looking at the insignia and I can't actually quite make out what it's saying there. To me it looks sort of maybe Scandinavian, but I'm really only guessing. So second class there, obviously these are doors that open onto platform. So yeah, okay, I'm nearly there, so I'm just going to continue with this lamp and get it put in, and it goes in which way? This way. Yep. Of course, I didn't want to neglect the dummy carriage, and what I noticed was that the coupler didn't actually behave very well. So I took it out, and that's the wrong one. This is the one I took out. Yep, this is the one I took out, and it doesn't have that drop pin that the coupler should have. So this is a replacement, and the reason for that was this little spring, where is it? Oh, I had a little spring there, there it is, was squashed. Well, I don't know why the pin came off, but the coupler wasn't working, because this little spring that fits inside the housing had been squashed flat. So obviously a bit of pressure at some time, because that's what holds the coupler in place. So I'm just going to put the coupler back in, and the coupler itself is held in place by a little bracket. Try and let us see it. It's a kind of Z-shaped bracket, and I just need a little bit of tension on this bit, and these two lugs here fit round this bar here and fold over. So let me just straighten these up, and this should sit nicely in there, and that will provide tension to keep the coupler in place. And then these arms, oops, This is where it gets a bit tricky. You're going to have to work with this bit here. Try and bring this bit up. Squeeze them together. Yep, and then just flatten these little lobs there and there. So that's better. That's better. So a little bit in here. Move my oil down. I've moved it. Yeah, there we go. So just round about there. So it fits in, swivels nicely, and that screw in here. Someone has obviously added these replacement weights, and the thing is, if they work, then that's good. Nice 3 bogies, front and back. This is back, this is the front. So I'm now going to put this back onto the track and see if it hooks up better this time. If it does, I'll let you see it. As I wrap up this repair on this the 2-car DMU, which is supposed to be a LIMA, and it could be. I just like to think it wasn't a difficult repair. It was testy, but the only bits I really needed were a little bit of metal plate and a new coupler. However, I did learn 1 or 2 lessons, so hopefully I can put that to good practice in future. It's a nice little runner. The rear coach is a bit sugary at times, I think because of lack of weight in it, but it seems to run pretty well. I'm just going to up the speed a little bit, and it seems to cope reasonably well, the changing speed. What I really should do is try and get it to change tracks to see how it copes the change of direction, especially with the new coupler. Try and catch it there. No, missed it. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked that. I enjoyed working on it. It's very European for me, so I'll probably try and pass it on to somebody who likes European stuff. Not that I don't like it, but I got enough of little bits. I like the restoration rather than actually owning the finished product. Just before I leave this little 2-car DMU, I have a little addendum to make. Now, I was quite unhappy about that second coach being very sugary. I thought it might have just been lack of weight, so I checked all that out. I checked lubrication, and I checked heights and stuff. But then I remembered my back-to-back, and I decided to check the wheels on the axles and discovered that 2 of the axles were running at about 7mm, and 1 of them was running at about 11mm, and that certainly isn't going to help. So obviously over time, or someone mishandling them, I don't know, but I think you'll agree that that second coach is now running as smooth as butter. So I'm quite happy I did that, took a bit extra time, and it's certainly running nicely there. So that's a wee addition to my collection until I get a chance to pass it on to somebody. So I hope you liked that. If you did, please subscribe. Favourite comments would be nice. A couple of likes would be fine. But if it ever happens, just keep watching YouTube, and I'm going to try and get a few more engaged repairs and servicing bits done. Especially during this time of self-isolation. So take care everybody, look after yourself and each other. Bye for now.